Hi, my name is Gwen and I'm currently a 3D animator in the gaming industry. I used to work in TV series for 3.5 to 4 years, and the info that I'm sharing is either based on my personal experiences or from other professional animators/artists who are currently working in games, TV series, and movies. 2 animators, 2 scenarios, 2 options for you. Miranda works a 9 to 6 job, has semi-flexible working hours, gets her tasks handed to her by leads or by management, OT once in a while, goes home, and in return for her efforts obtains a monthly salary. Then you have Matt. Matt works irregularly. In other words, he has total control of his working hours. The amount of work he gets varies every month, and other than animation, he deals with clients and feedback, and has the freedom of working from home or from an office. Regular monthly consistent pay is far out of the question, but in return, the risk brings back a higher pay. So in layman's terms, Miranda is an employee and Matt is self-employed, or a freelancer, which is today's topic. Here we are tackling the high-risk, high-reward part of this job and discussing the common questions about freelancing in the animation industry. So get your fishing rods ready because we're off the hook for some answers. 1. Where to find freelance jobs? Great! You're on to your first step of determination into the full-fledged independent animator who don't need no office.
Okay!
Come, let's give a round of applause to this brave show, Tom. Before I wish you the best and we get on our merry way, let me stop you there for 2 seconds. Hold on to your resignation letter, brothers and sisters, and hear me out. Ensure you have a decent number of connections before the letter drops like an atomic bomb to your supervisor. Connections are one of the most essential methods of getting freelance gigs, especially if you have the skills, the professionality, and the attitude of Keanu Reeves. Hold on, one moment of appreciation for our mentor, savior, and our internet best man. Okay, where were we? There are companies who prefer to outsource their work to freelancers, especially if the deadline is tight and there is scarcity in talent or in their visual range in the market. So usually, recruiters/clients hire a few existing freelancers and inquire about whether they know more animators who work well from their peripheral connections. So if you've done your work right, talk to the right people in the company, then there's a high chance that you'll get to work from them when you voice out your interests. What about students? It's possible to connect with your lecturers and discuss with them about your plans to go free. Though I've never personally had this experience before, but if you missed a chance to get friendly with your teachers, I suggest joining a company first to gain experience and knowledge before jumping into it. YouTube videos and information online are good and all, but nothing beats personal experience. So instead of listening to other people's experiences, live through it. It will be something that nobody can take away from you, and you can start to get a feel of the industry, how it works, and with that information, now you can jump into the world of freelancing, not into a pit of muck-filled abyss, silly. Wait. Does it mean I just discouraged you to watch my videos in another way? Oh shit! Anyway, you can get jobs from anyone. Friends, teachers, peers, your parents, companies, their friends, their company, everybody. Everyone has the potential to be a client. Keep your eyes peeled for opportunities, and if all else fails, there are websites like Fiverr, Upwork, LinkedIn, and even animation communities that post job requests. But before everything begins, you need to prepare your show and tell tool, your Showreel. 2. Prepare your Demoreel/Showreel. You heard countless tips on how to make your showreel stand out, with standard criteria and solid tips like keeping it within 40 seconds to a minute, put your best work at the front, etc, etc. All of this holds true, but when you put yourself out there as an animator, you'll get different types of requests, and most of them won't even be animation gigs. That's the sad part. Some people associate animation under design, under advertising, and that means if you're a 3D animator working in TV series, you'll probably get jobs like these, and it's up to you if you only want to do a certain type of job or you're open to being a generalist that will take anything that comes in your plate. If you would prefer to only get a certain type of freelance, cater your showreel to demonstrate the work you're interested in taking. 100% exclusive. 3. Pricing accordingly and contracts. There are different factors in setting a price for a freelance job. The main point will be frames or seconds of animation needed, time given, quality of animation, and the number of changes. For example, if a client comes to you with a 30-second animation with 25 FPS, TVC's quality, which is moderate, then you can charge based on price per second or per minute. The lowest rate that I can advise based on Malaysian rates for that is around a minimum rate of 30 to 35 ringgit Malaysia per second. So if you're working on 30 seconds, that'll be at least 900 ringgit. Cha-ching, bling. But we're not done yet. There's also fixed passes from clients, meaning you need to decide and discuss with the client on the number of feedbacks and fixes after the final submission. Usually a number of less than 3 is ideal, but if the client wants more fixes, the more urgent they are, the higher you can charge. But remember, everything is better in black and white than said. Next stop, contracts. Contracts ensure protection from both parties so that nobody tries to pull a leg, or this will serve as a means of proof. It totally depends on whether you would like to draft one and request for the client to sign it, or if you feel bad for even bringing up a contract in the first place, then hopefully the client is either someone you know or some company that you can trust. But if it's the first time with someone, may I suggest that you make use of a contract so that it's more official. In it, you can also mention stages of payments. For clients that you've never worked with, usually they'll suggest to pay the entire amount to you when you've submitted the final submission with no more changes needed. Well, don't that feel good when that huge number appears on your bank account like, hold up Sharon, let me go and buy a figurine? Well, there are cases where clients themselves are working as a middle person between a bigger company and you. And sometimes when you're halfway through the gig, they decide to bail because the work was not what they want or need. Oh hell no! When this crap hits the fan, I bet you wish you'd had a contract by your side that ensures you at least get paid for your time and efforts. Or the thought of offering contracts still sound foreign to you. You can request to have payments in stages. For example, you can request to get 30% of the full payment when you submit during the blocking stage, get another 30% when you submit the polished version, and get the remaining payment after the final submission. This way, if the client bails, at least you get 30% of the payment and come home with a salty mood but an increase in bank numbers. One more thing, take note that sometimes the client does not know the standards in the animation industry, mostly about the average rates, the animation pipeline, and more. But at times like this, you have to set the foundation for them. Be the one that's well informed and provide necessary information for them. 4. Keeping track of tasks, priority, and time. Congratulations on getting the nitty-gritty part of the contract done. Now, on to the actual work. This part comes down to your management skill, be it time, self, or project management. If you have experience in the industry before, and you had the chance to be more self-aware on how long you take to complete certain types of shots, you can bring that estimation into your planning. This is extra important because projects will bound to get overlapped if you're going full-time freelancing. At stringent times like that, may I present to you an ancient graph that helped millions of humans to date, and it is simply this. So I assume you have a vague idea of what this is, but let's go through this together. Step 1. Make a list of the projects/tasks you have. Step 2. Date down the deadlines for each point. Step 3. Now think it through. Are certain projects more urgent and more important, or do they fall to the other side of the spectrum? Step 4. Thank the spreadsheet graph for the clarity. With this, you will be able to specify the tasks from each other, and hopefully your journey in freelancing will be smoother. There are other ways of keeping track of tasks too. Management apps and websites like Microsoft To Do, And Trello boards put everything clearly on the table and in one sweep, you can get all the information you need. So before you fret and grunt on the word management, try these out and who knows? By the time you're getting the flow and the hang of it, you'll be managing like a professional. 5. Offering passes and final changes. So now that you're done with your animation and you've submitted your animation _final version 2 _edited _final.mp4 file to your client, now we wait for feedback. At this point, I assume you've discussed the number of fixes permitted with your client. Here on, if your client knows what he or she wants, then request for feedback that is as clear as possible. Some clients like to use abstract ways of writing feedback, like, for example, I want something that's much more exaggerated but not too much, just just right. What is not too much? If this happens to you, show them more examples on more visuals to make sure the client's abstract matches your interpretation. Get as close to mutual ground as possible and then make the changes. I know, it's frustrating when you show the client a pile load of references and they still don't know what they want. But it's better than completing a work and making fixes only to know that this is exactly not what the client wants. Hold me, somebody hold me. But if the client is willing to pay for extra changes and fixes, then at least there will be some compensation for your time and efforts. By right, it should be paid, and hopefully you follow this to the end instead of dropping out halfway, unless you're working with a peasant Maya version and everyone is already 10 years ahead of you. It's time to do an upgrade, right? 6. A little more about payment. Sometimes the client may accidentally forget to pay you, but nevertheless you'll have to consistently follow up with the payment as well. Send invoices to your clients, and there are countless websites that provide free invoice templates that you can easily fill in some details and export a fresh PDF file. I'll leave some links in the description below to help with that as well. The punctuality of payment also depends on the client/company that you work with. Well-off companies will be more on time. Startup and servicing companies depend on different factors, and if those factors arise, you might get your payment late. Like 3 months late. But it will be fine. So that's it for this video. Hopefully it gives you a kickstart idea of what freelancing entails, and if you want more information, here are some good ones. There's a good video that talks about Demoreel mistakes, and there is a calculator online that helps you with pricing your freelance gigs. Though this might not be applicable to Malaysia, you can get an estimation from it and ask around your freelancing peers to see if the numbers match up. I'm gonna put the link in the description below as well, so hopefully that helped you guys out. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like this video, you learn some insight about freelancing as an animator in the animation industry, please give me a thumbs up, a like, a share, a subscribe too, please. I know I just started, but any support, even a single leaving a comment, something as simple as that, will really help the channel. And if you really like our content here so far, please share it to your peers, to anybody that you think will benefit from these information that's given out, and it will really help to grow and to support this channel. And I'll be eternally grateful. Thank you so much. Until then, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I will be posting videos twice on Saturdays every month. And sometimes I will also put in a little bit of, my personal animation in there if you're interested in that. But please follow me on my socials, and if you're happy, great. If you're sad, don't be sad. I'll see you in the next one. See ya!